So you've just built a shiny new website. You blog regularly for those organic SEO gains. You're working on your digital marketing efforts and social media. But how do you know it's performing well? You might be making sales, but how do you know how many of your visitors are reaching those crucial marketing funnel points on your website? The thing is, if you don't have an overview of your website traffic, you could be missing out on some extremely valuable data that would help you improve your sales. For example, let's say you're making 10 sales a week. That's good for a beginner, right? But what if those 10 sales came from 1,000 website visits? That's only a conversion rate of 1%. What are those other 990 visitors doing? Why aren't they making a purchase? This is when a tool like Google Analytics comes in incredibly handy. And the best part, it's completely free. Okay, so I know it can be a little overwhelming when you first approach it, but Google even has free qualifications to help you understand how to use analytics. Google Analytics is the fundamental source of data for most digital marketing efforts, so without it, you're a ship without a compass. We are NTG Training, and we're specialists in providing digital marketing apprenticeships. And today, we're going to share some knowledge from the brains of our in-house SEO experts to show you how to set up Google Analytics on your WordPress website. Let's get to it. As usual for these tutorials, we're going to start with a brand new website on WordPress that isn't live yet. This will just be our example, but you can use this tutorial on an established WordPress website too. This is also a great guide if you've been duped by a previous marketing agency or employee and they haven't provided you with access to your previous analytics account. It's not ideal to start fresh, but if you can't get your old details, this is how you would reset the associated analytics account with your website. Okay, so here we are on our basic WordPress website, and this is in the back end on the dashboard. So right now the screen I'm on is in Plugins and it's Add New. This is because we're going to use a plugin to install our Google Analytics tracking code. Your Google Analytics tracking code needs to be placed in the head section of your website's code. But most users aren't particularly familiar with code. So this is a much more user-friendly way of doing this. So what we're going to look for is a free plugin called Insert Headers and Footers. And it's just this one by WP Beginner. So click Install and click Activate. So just check that that has popped up in your plugins. And then usually you would see a menu item for a plugin, but this one is actually located in the Settings tab of your WordPress website, and it's here. And you'll notice there's a space for scripts in header. These scripts will be printed in the head section, and that's where our Google Analytics tracking code is going to go. This plugin also gives you an option to put scripts in the body of your website and the footer of your website. There's a lot of different plugins and SEO and digital marketing tools that will require you to place tracking codes on your website. It'll tell you exactly where to put them, but this is a really great plugin for any of those. Alright, so we've just gone to analytics.google.com and click sign up. You'll be presented with this form. Pop in your first name and your last name. Don't worry, this doesn't have to be like your business name or anything. Type in your email address. You can also create a new Gmail address if you like. It's good to have a different email address associated for your account because then, you know, if a marketing executive moves on, you still have access to that account. Choose a password that's nice and secure. And you can also use sign in instead if you already have an account with Google for, say, Google My Business. It'd be good to link them up. Okay, click Next. You'll then be asked for your phone number, email address, date of birth and gender. None of this is necessary, but it does prevent you from getting locked out of your account if you ever forget your password. Alright, and then we're just going to use the express method because we don't need to be too fussy with this. Google will then show you some terms, just confirm them and accept. Okay, so at this point, if you don't have a business profile already, you can add one here. This is really important if you're a local business, it's very essential, but also important to other businesses too. But if you don't need that, just click Not Now. Okay, so here we are. First thing you need to do, click Start Measuring. And now we can put in our account name. That's just, your business name, for example. And this is just where you can opt in to various Google data collection. It's not going to gather anything sensitive. Alright, so now we need to add a property name. These account names are just to help you stay organised. They don't need to be anything specific at this point. For a basic beginner user, just put something simple like the name of your website. Alright, on the next page, you can provide Google with some business information. This will help them provide some interesting reports and benchmarking. So, for example, it will say your website has less views than other accounts similar to yours, for example. And then just select the data that you actually want to analyze with Google Analytics. For most of you, it'll be most of these apart from apps. And then again, just some terms of service. Make sure you selected United Kingdom at the top if you are in the United Kingdom, and agree. And then if you want email communications from Google. Alright, so this is our first setup screen. You probably want to choose web as your platform, although if you ever develop an app, you can also track analytics data using Google Analytics. So clicking on web, we're just going to pop in our website URL. This is our main home domain page. And again, just name that for your reference. And then click Create Stream. Now Google will provide us with a tracking code or a measurement ID. So this time we're going to use the global site tag to use tracking on our WordPress website. So just click the drop down here. And then this is the snippet of code we're going to copy. This is what you need to put on your WordPress website. As it says, this is going to go into the head section of our HTML. And I'll explain how to do that next. So keep this open in another tab and we'll head back to our website. Alright, so we're in our headers and footers plugin, which is again located in the settings menu on the left. We're going to click in the header section. Like Google said, we're putting our tag after the head tag. So paste your Google Analytics tracking code there and click Save. Then we'll go back to our analytics page, and at this point we'll be able to check. So on here I've just set up an example, so no data has been received. You might also get the note no data received if your website doesn't have much traffic. You'll need to wait for some traffic to come through before you can see what that looks like. Okay, so once you've verified everything is working and data is being received, I'm just going to show you what a Google Analytics account looks like. So this is your main dashboard as soon as you go onto the Analytics website. This is just Google's demo account, just so I can show you the kind of things that you'll get. So right now we're just on our home screen and we've got some of our most basic, most useful reports. This one here shows the total users, how many new users, how long they're spending on the website, And then you can link Google Analytics up so it tracks your conversions. This is a more advanced feature. It's not something you might be able to do straight off the bat, but we will provide a tutorial for this in future. Alright, so let's just really quickly cover what some of these reports are. Acquisition is how users have found themselves on your website. So for example, referral, organic search, paid advertising. We've also got retention. That explains how people are coming back to your website. So we've got new users and returning users. Engagement shows people how people are using your website. So it will break down, which pages they go on and what they do and what they click. Monetization, that's going to show your ad revenue, your conversions, your sales. Then we've got a further breakdown of conversions under events. And you can obviously add your own reports and things like that. Google qualifications are the best way to learn how to do this. But as you can see, there's a ton of data that you can get from these reports. Even if you've only got the basic tracking code set up, it's a really good place to start. Using this data, you should be able to find out where users are sort of stalling in their marketing funnel journey. And that should help you identify where you need to make improvements on your website. So you can also complete tests and set up new scenarios and then measure how those scenarios have improved your data. So today we've just covered the basics of setting up Google Analytics on your WordPress website. But if you'd like to learn more about how you can use Google Analytics, please give us a like and follow, and we'll post more tutorials soon. In the meantime, don't forget to check out our website where we have loads of free digital marketing guides too. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.